All right, let's talk about external contractors. Most companies think about hiring them to just, fill a gap. But we're going to flip that on its head. Today, we're building a playbook that turns this from a simple task into a real strategic advantage for your business.
So, here's the classic scene, right? You've got this huge project, the deadline is breathing down your neck, and your team just doesn't have the specific skills to get it done. The knee-jerk reaction is always, we need to find someone now. But what if that panic hiring is actually the worst move you could make?
Because the real magic isn't in just hiring someone, it's in strategic resourcing. It's about building a flexible, powerful external team that works in perfect harmony with your full-time staff. And this right here, this is your playbook for making that happen.
We're going to break this down into 5 key stages. First, making that strategic decision to even go external. Then, laying the proper groundwork. After that, we'll get into actually assembling your team, managing them for top-notch performance, and finally, making sure you're getting the absolute best return on your investment. Okay, first things first, the strategic decision. Seriously, before you even open a single job site or think about who you're going to hire, you have to absolutely nail down why. This is the step where so many people trip up, and honestly, it's the most important part of this whole thing.
And that why is your justification. This can't be a gut feeling. It has to be a solid, evidence-based business case. You need a crystal clear answer to the question, why a contractor and not just hire someone full-time? A strong justification gets everyone on the same page, and crucially, it ties this decision directly to a result you can actually measure.
So when does it make the most sense? Well, the sweet spot is when you need super specialized skills for a key project, or you need the flexibility for temporary work. It's a great way to bring in fresh ideas without bloating your permanent headcount. You're not just filling a role, you're strategically buying expertise and agility when you need it most.
So once you've got your why locked down, it's time to build the foundation. Now, I know this isn't the most glamorous part, but trust me, it is absolutely critical. We're talking about the legal and financial rules of engagement that will save you a world of headaches later on.
The biggest difference between an employee and a contractor really boils down to one simple word: control. For an employee, you dictate how the work gets done. For a contractor, you only dictate what gets done. They're in complete control of the how. Getting this wrong isn't just a small mix-up. It's a huge legal and financial landmine.
And that landmine is all about legal status. If you misclassify a contractor, you could be on the hook for back taxes, massive fines, benefits liabilities. The list goes on. This is why getting their official classification right from day one isn't just annoying paperwork. It's a firewall that protects your entire business. And the best way to protect that legal status? A rock-solid scope of work. I want you to think of this as the mission briefing for your contractor. It lays out exactly what success looks like, what the boundaries are, and what they're responsible for. This is your #1 defense against that dreaded scope creep.
And the last piece of our foundation is the budget. A smart budget goes way beyond just the hourly rate. You've got to factor in things like agency fees, any cost to get them onboarded, maybe access to specific software. Thinking about the total cost up front prevents those nasty surprises down the road.
Okay, with a solid foundation in place, now we get to the fun part: actually assembling your team. Let's dive into the modern talent marketplace, because there are a few different ways you can find these world-class specialists.
You've really got 3 main paths. Freelancers are amazing for super niche expertise and speed. Agencies are your go-to when you need a vetted team, like yesterday. And vendors are great for specialized packaged services. The real trick is knowing which path to take based on what you actually need.
And of course, there's the giant world of the gig economy. The scale is unbelievable, right? But with that scale comes a ton of variability. You can't just post the job and pray for the best. To make it work, you need strong, repeatable systems for vetting people, verifying their skills, and tracking performance. You have to separate the signal from the noise.
So, you found your person. Awesome. Now what? This brings us to managing for peak performance. This is all about the execution, how you turn that brilliant talent into brilliant results.
You can actually break it down into a super simple 3-step workflow. First, you define the project with that scope of work we talked about. Then, you assign the task with a formal work order so everything's tracked. And finally, you validate the work with quality reviews. Define, assign, validate. That's the rhythm.
Now, here's the critical mindset shift you have to make when managing contractors. You manage the output, not the process. It's a balancing act, for sure. You have to give them the freedom to use their expertise, but at the same time, Hold them accountable for delivering the final results.
And how long should you keep them around? Well, that needs to be a strategic decision too. Use short-term contracts when you need maximum flexibility and cost control. But for core, ongoing needs, think about longer, phased engagements. This helps you hold on to that valuable expertise. The duration itself is a tool you can use.
And that brings us to the final and maybe most important section, maximizing your return on investment. This is all about making sure every single dollar you put into external talent comes back to you and then some.
A great way to think about this is a concept called yield. The formula is really simple. Yield equals value plus flexibility. The value part is easy. That's the quality of the work they do. But flexibility is that amazing strategic advantage you get, the ability to scale up or down or tap into skills you don't have. Your real ROI is a measure of both of those things together.
And if you want to really supercharge that yield, you can use some advanced plays. You could use retainers to guarantee you always have access to your top experts. Or try unbundling. That's where you break a big project into smaller pieces for different specialists. And maybe the most important thing, identify your external core. These are the contractors who are so vital, you need to treat them like true strategic partners.
And here's one last tool to keep your strategy sharp. It's called zero-based thinking. You just have to constantly ask your team this one question. If we were building this company from scratch today, would we still create this role? It's a powerful way to challenge your own assumptions and make sure every dollar you're spending still makes sense right now.
Because at the end of the day, there's a good chance that the person with the exact skills to unlock your company's next big breakthrough, well, they probably aren't on your payroll today. The only question left is, are you ready to go out and find them?